Hello and welcome to another edition of Lab Rats. My name is Andy Walker.
I'm John Carruthers.
And this is a show where we demystify your technology. We help you with your questions. We bring light to your dark technology corners. And today on the show, of course, that is really our intention, isn't it, Sean?
It is. We have a familiar favorite.
What is that? What are we going to do?
Well, we used to have something called Mailbag. Today it's Askbag.
Yay!
And something that Paul is really excited about.
He likes Askbag, yeah. Yeah. So tell us about Askbag.
Well, Askbag, for old Mailbag, basically we would take your questions. You would write in with your questions to the Lab Rats asking about your technology problems. So we've got this new feature, not new anymore, but it's been around for a while. But you know, we could actually use you to use it a little bit more. It's called Ask at Butterscotch. So you ask a question at the top of the page, and then you can ask any question you want, and then somebody will answer it. Not necessarily us. We're looking at them. But there's a whole pile of other people at Butterscotch Network that will do that as well. So it is a good opportunity to get your question answered. And not only that, when you ask Lab Rats a question by sending to feedback@labrats.tv, you get us to answer it. But at Butterscotch, not only will other members of the Butterscotch team answer it, like Andrew Moore-Crispin potentially, or our guy Ted in San Francisco, who answers a lot of our questions.
He does.
But you can answer the questions too, and we actually want to encourage that as well, which is why we're doing this.
That's right. Very good. Good. So today we've selected, what, 6, I think, from the accumulated questions, and we're going to actually answer them on the show.
We're going to answer them on Askbag.
Askbag. Well, there you go.
No yay, Paul?
Yeah!
There we go. Paul likes the Askbag. All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, your questions on today's episode of
Askbag.
Welcome back to Lab Rats. Well, before we get started, a quick message from a new sponsor that we have, the good folks over at VeriSign. Of course, VeriSign being the company that not only is the caretaker of the .com and the .net domains, but they're also safeguarded as well. So they actually have all kinds of services to ensure that when you arrive at a .com, that you really are arriving at the .com you thought you were going to arrive at.
Yes, sir.
And they've been around for at least 10 years doing this kind of work. So it's not the company that does the registration for. These are the guys that are responsible for the entire universe. So essentially, universe of .com and .net. So essentially, these guys are like they're the kind of the custodians of those domain, top-level domains. Yeah.
So you actually can buy the .coms from other resellers like Hover, which is one of our sister companies. But the people that are actually in charge of all of them at the very top end is VeriSign.
Runs the system, makes sure that .coms stay online. So they kind of deal with very deep internet plumbing. Great people, and they want you to know what they do. So zip on over to verisigninc.com and find out more about these guys that play such a crucial role on the internet. Okay, there you go. verisigninc.com, Sean.
I'm going.
Okay, good. All right, so let's get started with the show. So today we're going to answer your questions.
Yes.
So should we just get started?
Let's get started with Askbag.
All right.
Yeah!
All right.
Oh.
All right, first question is for you. So this one, it says, I have many duplicates of music on iTunes, way too many to manually edit or erase each song individually, and I've purchased the Tune Up application. It's cool, but they haven't released a deduper tool yet to just remove duplicates. So, and he's kind of mad that Apple allows you to deal with that, and there's no real solution. So he wants some help. All
right. Well, one of the tools that I actually dealt with, I actually had this problem recently too. I had way too many files to fit into a certain space, and I know that I had a bunch of files because I would typically back up my library and then back up some of the same files again. So I knew that there were a few that were going in there over and over and over again because I wasn't paying close attention to that. And I put the call out there, what do you guys use? And I ended up finding something called Find Duplicate Files. So it's at a company called Araxis.com. And they do a few other things that deal with data management on your PC. So if you go to Araxis.com, you'll see a few of their other things. So they got something called Merge, where they do file comparison, 2- and 3-way file comparison, that sort of thing. But the one that we're looking at here is something called Find Duplicate Files. And this one right here will scour through all of your files on your computer looking for identical items. So you point it at a folder. So your music folder, your iTunes folder, look for that there and just go, okay, there you go. So I downloaded it and put it onto my computer here. You fire it up, And the thing that I really like about this one is you can actually go to a NAS. So if you're saving all your music files on a NAS on your network as opposed to on your computer itself.
Your ass?
Your NAS.
NAS.
NAS. Network attached storage.
There you go.
So yeah, I wouldn't store files in that other thing.
I just want to let that one go by because it didn't sound like you said anything useful.
Right. So you can try this one free for 7 days, and then you can purchase it afterwards. But basically, you say go to a particular folder. You drag the folder in, and this works for both Windows and Windows and Mac. So we're going to open up a folder here. Set our Documents folder in this case. Just drag it in there, and then hit the scan, and away we go. So then when we scan through that, it will find all the duplicate files, and then in the bottom window, it'll actually, or in the middle window, it'll give you a list of items that are found that are duplicates, and then give you the option to remove the duplicates.
Okay.
So there you go. That's one way to do that. And I guess TuneUp is the go-to way to do it inside iTunes itself. But this will actually get rid of the files at a very base level, so they won't be sitting there on your hard drive clogging them up. So
very good. A simple way. Now, how much does it cost?
It does cost, let me go through. I said it's free for 7 days, so if you only have to do this once, you can just do it for free. But
I would say while you're looking for that, and it's really important, right, that if you find something, a tool like that really useful, don't just use the free. Don't use the free 7-day. I mean, if you use it and you don't like it and you discard it, then don't pay.
Yeah.
If you use it and you like it and it helps you,
pay.
For good pay. I mean, this supports the people that make great tools,
yeah.
right? So, and if it's going to give me a few dollars, I bet you it's like what, $20, $30.
It's $14.99.
It's $14.99. Come on, it's the price of like what,
yeah,
3 Starbucks, cappuccinos or something like that.
1.5, in fact. They're the kind that Paul drinks.
Yeah, that's right, exactly.
So, and it also includes 1 year of upgrades of new versions and support. So, I mean, it gives you, for $15, you get an entire year worth of duplicating files. Well, you can probably find your duplicates forever, but you get the support and updates for a year. So
good stuff.
There you go.
Great. Well, there you go. All right, so let's, I would imagine there's probably another one in there, and it's probably for me.
This one is for you. So this one is from Morocco Mediated 29.
Yes.
And it's, the question is, does anyone like the Slide It keyboard for Android?
Ooh.
And can you turn it on and off?
Right.
And even better, can you uninstall it?
Can you uninstall it? Very good. Okay, let's move this thing out of the way. Do we have a landing spot there, Paul, for...
Right here.
I want to show you
I'll move Askbag.
What he's talking about here. So what he's talking about here is, I'm going to fire up, this is an alternate keyboard for the Android phones. And the idea behind this is that, so you would summon up an alternate keyboard, and then you could like type, for example, by moving your finger, sliding it over the keyboard. So I'm going to type Andy, so A, so we can actually do this sideways, A-N-D-Y.
Yeah, so there you go. You saw the lines being drawn across it as you did that.
Yeah, so let's try Sean. S-E-A-N.
Yeah, there we go. So that's pretty easy. And said you're taking some pretty good care there while you're doing that because you're doing it backwards. But you can do that fairly quickly, and it actually works really well.
Yeah, even if you're like a little bit not quite accurate, you can. It'll still kind of guess at the right words. Which is pretty good. It's much better than the standard Android keyboard that comes with this thing.
Yeah, I got to say that while I like Android as a whole experience, it has a lot going for it that I really appreciate. The keyboard on it is not one of those things. The standard keyboard is terrible, especially after you're used to using the iPhone keyboard, which is very good at predicting what you're going to say, even when your fingers are going slightly outside the key boundaries.
That's right.
On the Android, it doesn't seem like it's... I guess on the iPhone, we've talked about this briefly before, dynamic targeting, where you're pushing like just off to the side of the key, and it kind of figures, oh, it's probably that key, not the one beside it, because of the other words that you were spelling, or the other letters you're putting in.
Well, it learns your style, actually. It learns how you actually target keys, and it adapts to you over time, so it's very useful.
Yeah,
the emailer, or the guy that was asking, said also, can you remove it easily? So here, I'm in settings here. In the settings utility.
Actually, he also asked if you can turn it on and off, so maybe before you remove it.
Well, I'm not going to remove it. First, I'm just going to turn it on, right? So let me just turn it.
So you go into language and keyboards.
And keyboards, right? And then see this button here? This allows me to turn it off, so I can actually go turn that off and go back to the Android keyboard setting.
Yeah, so that'll actually take you into the specific Android, like the standard Android keyboard settings.
Right. So that would be how you turn it off. And if you wanted to remove it, again, you go into Applications here. And then you go Manage Applications. And then you go and you find it, which is probably down here. QRS. Where's it gone? Well, lots of apps now.
A, B, C, D. There we go.
Slide it. Touch slide it. And I could actually say
to
uninstall right here.
Yeah, so there you go. So you can take it off just like that. So it actually works as an application on top of Android, and you'd uninstall it just like you would any other app. There's nothing tricky about it.
Now Slide It costs is a free starter version, and then there's I think the actual upgrade for the full version is $4.99. So not cheap, not a 99-cent utility, but I got to tell you, way better than the standard install. So standard keyboard on Android. So I highly recommend
I
it.
hate that keyboard.
There you go.
That would be my first download if I ever got an Android phone.
Good. It's probably a good move.
All right.
Okay. All right. Next one. Okay, Sean. This person says, I want to increase my memory from 1 gigabyte to 2 gigabyte on his computer. I have 1 gig currently, and I have 2 DIMM slots for memory, but I'm only using 1 so far. The manufacturer's website indicates 1 open DIMM slot, but so does that mean it's not being used, or does it mean it has to be activated when a memory module is installed?
All right. Okay. So I'm actually going to bring up a prop here so you can see. Right in here we have the memory slots on this computer over here. So whether you're using a notebook or you're using a desktop machine, generally you have slots for RAM. So we've got this one right here. You notice that we've also got one beside this that's open. So generally what happens when you go to a site like a Kingston or Crucial or one of the other memory manufacturers, they have a tool that will actually scan your system, find out which slots your machine is using. Yeah. So he says that there were 2 slots noted by the tool. I'm guessing that's what he used. He didn't specifically say, but so there's 2 slots and one of them is open. So what that means is that one of those slots doesn't have anything in it.
Right.
Now, the way to activate it is to put another stick of memory in it. So when you go to the website that has the tool on it that scans your system, tells you what slots are free and what you can upgrade to, it will tell you what type of memory you need, first of all, and how big a stick you can put in there. So don't just go out to the store and say, I want a 1 gigabyte of RAM. You have to know, okay, is it DDR1, DDR2, DDR3, what speed is it, and how big your system can handle. So, and generally speaking, you want to try to match, if you have, like, say, 4 slots, you want to try to match your sticks in there so that you actually have pairs. The systems typically work these days in a way that you get best performance by matching them up into dual channel. This is what they call it. So, so use the tool, figure out what you have right now, double it up if you can. If you go to the tool and it says you have 0 slots free, but you have 2 slots in play and you want to upgrade your memory, well, then you'd have to take both sticks out, basically, and replace them with something higher, again, if the tool says that you can actually handle something higher in that machine. Right. So the tools are generally pretty good at telling you the upper limit of the memory you can have. If you have a slightly older system, it may not be able to take really high amounts of memory. So say you're using something back from the 90s, you may not be able to put 2 gigs. It might cap out at 1 gigabyte, like 512 each, for example. Or it may do something a little bit lower than that if you're looking at something older. So just don't assume that you can just automatically upgrade to like 4 gigabytes of memory. Not all systems are capable of that. So
now, should I be upgrading the drivers for the chipset?
It never hurts to upgrade the drivers for the chipset. Most of the time, it doesn't really change much in terms of the bus speed of the hardware. In some cases, it does upgrade things, but not much.
Right, got it. So in case you don't know that, so the motherboard has a bunch of chips attached to it, and the manufacturer will almost always provide a driver. In fact, actually they will provide a driver set for the chipset. So if you go into your manufacturer's website, Dell or HP or whatever, just go and see if there's an update for the chipset drivers. It's a package you install and update. It always gives you the latest functionality for your motherboard and fixes any hardware bugs as well sometimes.
Yeah, and to answer the specific question, he's got 1 gigabyte and 1 slot free. He wants to upgrade to 2 gigabytes. That's probably easy because he's already got 1. The other slot almost certainly will handle another 1 gigabyte stick. Good. So I think he's good.
Okay, great. All right.
Right.
So next one.
Askbag question for you.
Woohoo!
Sorry. All right. So Andy.
Yes.
I want to buy an Apple MacBook Pro 17-inch.
Funny that I happen to have one of those right here.
As do I, my friend. Can I load Windows 7 on it?
And the answer is yes, absolutely, emphatically yes. You can. One of the great things about the MacBook Pro, I would tell you, is that part of the reason why when I initially switched to the Mac that it was a great option was to actually be able to install Windows 7 on a separate partition on the machine itself. Now you can go about it two different ways. You can either use the built-in boot camp functionality, which allows you to dual boot either into an alternate OS or the standard Mac OS, or you can install a product called Parallels, and Parallels essentially allows you to hot swap between different operating systems. So in this particular case, up on my screen here, I have a copy of the virtual machines that I have running on this machine, and one of them is Windows 7. So I've created a Parallels partition, install Windows 7, and if I tap on my power button here, Windows 7 will start up. Now, it basically what it does is you create an area of space on the hard drive to allow for all the files to be installed. It actually boots up and runs in a window, and then what's cool about this is you can actually hot swap between one and the other, and if you turn some key features on, you can actually drag content between one operating system and another if you like as well. Now, you've had a lot of experience with this as well, haven't you?
Yeah, we do a lot of screen grabs around the Butterscotch studio where we look at things that run only in Windows. So we actually have Windows installed. I've got Windows 7 fired up here and running as well. So we have the ability to run Windows 7 completely inside Macintosh. Right now it's in a window. We can go, for example, full screen so that all we're doing is running Windows. It's going to do a flip-de-flip, and then it'll look for all the world like this is a Windows 7 machine. And it gives us a little notice here that we're running in full screen mode and how to get out of it. So it is really great, really easy. You do want to make sure that you have a lot of memory on your system to make sure that you're not bogging down your entire system. So we generally recommend at least 4 gigabytes of memory on these systems. Go 8 if you can, because the more memory you can dedicate to each side of the equation, the better. So if you can say Windows will get a whole pile of memory, but then Mac might not get as much as it needs to continue to run. So. That's
right, yeah. Well, I mean, my machine here has 4 gigs of RAM. I got to tell you that the experience isn't great. I think I really need to add some to give me the optimal experience. It is passable, but not highly usable. So that would certainly is a good tip.
So you mentioned Parallels. Of course, there's others out there like VMware. They have one as well, although Parallels is, in fact, the one that people are saying is the best choice at the moment. And I think it's under $100 typically, and then you have to pay for Windows 7 on top of that, of course.
Great. Okay, good. All right, well, let's take a break, and when we come back, we've got your pictures as well as clip of the week. That's after this. Welcome back to Lab Rats. So I made one mistake, and we actually have one more question. So we're going to do that first, and then we're going to do a clip of the week, and then we're going to do pictures.
Sure. Let's get this last one out of the way.
All right. So, Sean, I just bought a Wi-Fi enabled Kindle and I'm unable to set up a link on my home internet connection because DHCP is not enabled.
Uh-oh. That's bad.
Dum dum dum. I'm trying to find out how to enable that on my Netgear router, what changes it would make to my network. I don't know what DHCP is. So can you explain, please? And this is from TechnoGar 2.
All right. So now what DHCP is Dynamic Host Control Protocol. What that is when you have a router, there's the outside internet and then there's your inside network. So they're two different things, and the router typically acts as a barrier between the two and uses something called network address translation. Now there's a lot of words. That basically means it does a translation between your internal addresses and your external addresses. It gives you a series of numbers.
Yeah, the best way to think about this is DHCP operates like the operator at a company. So when you dial into the company, the operator says, okay, what extension would you like? And then they send the call through to extension 457 or 321 or whatever it is, right? So it really assigns, the company has one telephone number but multiple extensions internally.
Exactly. So your Kindle needs a connection into your internal network in order to get a connection to the external network and say it's extension 13, just to simplify it a lot. So now what it needs DHCP for is for your router to be able to say, oh, you're extension 13, and do that dynamically. That's why it's called Dynamic Host Control Protocol. So as you fire it up and connect to your network, it will say, okay, you're at this particular extension. So to enable it, you need to get your router manual out, basically, to find this one out, and find out how to surf the box. There's usually a IP address that is associated with each router. So with Netgear, I think it's often 192.168.1.0.
No.
0.1?
0.1, yeah.
Yeah, so this varies. So some are 1.1, some are 0.1, some are 1.0.
So here is 0.1.
Yeah, and they tend to change every so often, so be 100% sure and go check out your router and find out what it is. So when you go into that, it'll also ask you for a username and password to access the router. Again, they tend to be pretty basic, usually admin and blank or admin and admin, unless you've already set that up. So then you would use the username and password that you set up when you set up the router if you changed it. And then it'll give you a whole pile of options in there. So go looking for your networking options, and then look for DHCP. It'll be in there somewhere, and you just click on to turn that on. So that's the basic way to do it.
Yeah, now what's odd about this request is that usually DHCP is set on by default.
Yes.
So it should already be on, and the fact that it's not means that somebody's been messing around with your router, and perhaps there's other people in your household that have been administering your router and have decided to turn this off. It doesn't make a whole lot of sense, but it's possible that that's what's been done.
It is possible, so it's a bit odd.
Yeah, it is. What may be the case is that the Wi-Fi button, the switch that turns the Wi-Fi antenna on the Kindle is turned off. That could be also the issue why it's not actually getting an internet connection. Because as soon as you turn the thing on, it's going to go looking for the Wi-Fi connection and grab it, and DHCP should just hand it out. So I have a funny feeling that there's something else going on in this picture, that DHCP is already on your router, but there's other issues at play here.
Yeah, so go to your Kindle settings, click on the menu, and then go up to the top of that, and it'll usually have a little option that says turn wireless on. If that's set to off, turn it on.
Yeah, and that would be an easy problem.
That would be an easy fix.
All right, good. All right, so that's it for Askbag this week. Let's now have a look at one of the clip of the week, which I believe it's your how do I what?
It's a how do I build a PC. So
how do I build a PC?
Yeah, so to follow up on the question about RAM that we had earlier, we can take a look at another aspect of building a PC and how to do an upgrade.
And you've done a whole series on this?
Did a whole 10-part series on this one.
Great. All right, well, let's take a look at that 30-second clip, and we'll be back with your pictures.
Welcome on deck. I'm Matt Harris.
Hi, I'm Jay Goldman.
Welcome to the A-List. Hi, welcome to Miss Download.
Now, the graphics card is what drives all of the video that you're going to see on your monitor, whether you're playing a game, whether you're looking at a spreadsheet, whether you're just surfing the net or looking at your email. All of that is put onto your monitor by the graphics card. Now, some motherboards have integrated graphics right on the board. In general, this is not as good as a discrete card like we have here. It's perfectly serviceable if all you're going to be doing with it is surfing the web, looking at very basic sorts of things. But if you want anything that does 3D, anything that does high-end video processing, you'll probably want to look at a separate graphics card.
Well, welcome back. So if you want to see the entire series of that How Do I, it's available on butterscotch.com at this URL below. You did 10 parts, right?
I did 10 parts of that one.
So
and many parts of other series on How Do I as well.
Indeed. Okay, so go and check that out. I think you'll thoroughly enjoy it. All right, now to my favorite part of the show. Picture
Askbag?
time. Picture time, picture time, picture time, picture time, picture time.
Right.
Dance with me. Picture time, picture time, picture time, picture time, picture time, picture time. Okay. We have 3 pictures this week.
This is why I don't dance for a living, by the way.
Yes.
All right, we have 3 pictures today, yes, and one is from someone you might recognize, Andy.
Yes.
It's our pal. Oops. It'll be over here today.
Try to push that button.
Yeah. So it's our friend Quinn.
Quinn!
From Calgary, who you might remember as having been on set a few weeks back. And Quinn let us know that he had gerbils, Sean and Andy. And here he is with a couple of IKEA rats, and on the top of it is his gerbil, Sean. I don't know where Andy is.
That's fine. Andy's probably sleeping. Did you see that he actually he sent us a really nice card?
Yes, and very, very apt considering
Muchas
we're at 2 cows.
Thank you very much.
That's actually 4 cows. That's 2 cows times 2.
That's right. Well, there's 2 of us, right? So
yes.
4 cows. Who knows? Anyway, thank you, Quinn, for your card.
Yes,
and for this.
Yes, thank you so much.
And make sure that Andy doesn't poo in your slipper.
Andy does tend to do that. So. All right, so next up, another old friend, Jack Rumpel. And he has done, he sent us a few pictures on various things. This time around, we've got one. Jack hacked his Prius. So you remember Jack of the pizza box laptop cooler fame?
Yes.
This is a little bit more upscale than that.
Jack hacked his Prius.
Jack hacked his Prius. So he's got another battery that he charges at home and bundles in. And he's got this gauge here as well to measure his performance as he's going. And right now you can see he's at 0 RPM and 0 miles per gallon.
Good thing.
That's because he's not driving while he's taking the picture. Safety first, says Jack. So.
Very good.
But what he is trying to do is he's trying to get up to 100 miles per gallon with this thing using this extra little hack that he's done. I don't know if he's gotten there yet. I don't
You know what
think so.
happens when you hack things you're not supposed to hack?
You avoid the warranty?
Well, that, but you also have funny little side effects. So I'm wondering if he's going to be driving along the highway one day and all of a sudden, like, flowers are going to start growing out of a seed or something like that.
Well, that's what happens with these new green cars,
That's right. They are environmentally friendly after all.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, good.
Well, actually, Jack is sort of on the right track. I know that I heard recently that, old school rocker Neil Young is trying to get 100 miles per gallon out of one of his cars as well. Except he's trying to do it without a battery-powered car. He's trying to do it with a gasoline-powered car. And he's getting close.
Wow.
So it is possible. So I think if Jack's doing it on a hybrid, he might break that 100 miles per gallon thing. So keep at it, Jack. You got to beat Neil Young at this.
Brilliant.
So there we go.
Good.
And one more, another repeat. And this cat right here,
Oh,
lying on the top
look at that.
Of the bookcase.
Great picture.
You know what the name of this cat is?
Boots.
Nope.
Sean.
Nope.
Andy. Jack
Give you a
Rumpel.
hint. It's from our friend Harry in Pennsylvania.
Oh, Captain General Buttons.
Close. Captain Spaulding.
Captain Spaulding, right.
Yeah, so we got a bit of a finger wagging from someone says, you lost some geek cred. Captain Spaulding's from Groucho Marx movie. And it's just like, apparently that's true. I'm not a big Marx Brothers fan or a Groucho Marx fan, so I wouldn't have known that either way. But apparently, Captain Spaulding here was not named, and we did ask why. Captain Spaulding was named after the Devil's Rejects movie.
Well,
Which may have been named after the old Marx Brothers.
Could have been.
It might be an homage, but there you go.
He's cute, wherever he was named after.
He doesn't look like a Devil's Reject.
No, so cute.
There you go. So thank you again, Harry, for sending that in.
Thank you, Harry. That's awesome.
Captain Spaulding.
I have to tell you, I love the hacks, and I love the pictures of the children, but the cats just do me in.
You like
pictures?
cats?
Pictures of your cats and your furry things.
Especially cats named after military personnel.
That's right. It's fantastic.
All right.
All right, good episode. Thank you so much for tuning this week and pushing play. It'd be foolish for us to be here answering your questions if you were out there going, oh, I wish somebody would help me with my technology. My name's Andy Walker.
Askbag, Askbag, Askbag.
Yeah. And he's Sean Brothers.
Yes, I am.
We'll see you next time.
Are you ready?
Huh?